What's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Diamond Select Toys action figure review set on the way for Wrath of the Villains Gotham TV series. Mr. Freeze, Hugo, Strange, and Azrael. If you're trying to pick these up, you can pick them up individually at
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
Hey, gotta give a big thanks to Diamond Select Toys for sending these figures out for me to review for you guys. If you want to see the latest from them, subscribe to their YouTube channel, link in the description below. And you can see we have Mr. Freeze right over here, Hugo, Strange, and Azrael, and on the side, you can see a nice image of Mr. Freeze, Hugo, Strange, and Azrael again. Then on the very back, you see product shots. We got interchangeable heads. Ooh, knocked over Mr. Freeze. There's a read-up over here on Azrael. If you want to read it, go ahead and pause it now. Read up on Hugo Strange if you want to read it, pause it now. And there's a read up on Mr. Freeze. If you want to read it, go ahead and pause it now. And there's not much on this side right over here, so let's get to it and crack these things open. And here's all three figures out of the packaging, minus their bases and all the accessories. There's quite a bit of accessories to look at over here. And I gotta say, this is the most colorful wave of Gotham figures that we've gotten from Diamond Select Toys. I really like these three figures a lot. So let's get a closer look at the Hugo Strange figure along with his accessories, and then we'll get a closer look at Freeze and Azrael. So here's Hugo Strange with his crazy chair right over here. I can't remember if this actually has a name, and I can't remember if Barbara actually sat in it. You know, I've been on and off with Gotham, so and it looks like she's not going to be able to sit in the crazy chair, but you can get the Penguin, and I definitely remember seeing the Penguin sitting in this chair. So yeah, you want to get his, you know, his joints all, you know, aligned and everything. I wish this could recline, but you know, still that works pretty neat. I think that's pretty cool. You know, and get Hugo Strange in there, you know, doing his tests and, you know, all the torturing and all that stuff. But anyway, looking at the chair itself, I do like it. And it comes in two separate pieces. So you have the chair and then you have the base for the chair and you just plug it in. So there that goes. Very nice and easy to do. Very beautiful, bright silver on most of it. I really dig that. See, again, we get this piston right here. So I just wish that functioned, but it's just one solid piece. Get some nice solid black paint right over there. You know, this is kind of soft right there, you know, and nice squares all sculpted in there. And then we also get a couple little thingies. We have some books for Hugo Strange because, you know, he's a doctor and everything, so, you know, doctors need their books. So we get this green one right here, a nice looking spine, and they don't open. And then we have this red one right over there. And then he has a couple of certificates because, you know, he's a doctor. So we get the City of Gotham, Gotham Board of Health and Hygiene, and then this is, they're both health and hygiene. So pretty sweet. I like these, you know, fairly sturdy little pieces of paper right over here. So you can see we get the Book of Damas right over here, or it's a Bible. I'm not 100% sure about this, but I do like it a lot, and I can't wait to use it in my Doctor Strange display. I'm sorry, you guys, I have to add this with Doctor Strange, because it's the first accessory or book accessory that I have that actually opens up, and it looks fantastic. I love that we can see this detailed deco right there, the Will and Order at Saint Dumas, or Dumbass. I always saw that name as Dumbass, but yeah, it's Dumas. And then it says Azrael right over there on the right side. So very cool. I'm very pleased with this. I like it a lot. So here's looking at the Hugo Strange head sculpt compared to some images that I found online. And I didn't realize the guy who plays Hugo Strange is also that doctor guy from the Jurassic Park and the Jurassic World, or the Jurassic Park 4. Anyway, looking at this guy though, it looks very good. I do like this head sculpt. I'm not a big fan of the pink on the lips. It just looks a little bit strange to me, but I do, no pun intended, but I do like the glasses right here, even though there's this like pinkish reddish hue in the lenses, but we don't have actual lenses on this. And I don't know if you're supposed to remove these or not. I did lift up this side right over here, so you can kind of see how it peels back, but I'm afraid to, you know, take it apart on the right side. So yeah, I'll just leave it like this because I prefer him having his glasses on. But other than that, you know, I do like the head sculpt. You know, the beard looks pretty good. You know, it just does look a little deco-y right over here with these little spiky beard lines right there. Wish that was a little bit smoother, but still, for the most part, I like it, and I like the flesh tone and everything too. I also wish this guy had his lab coat instead of this pinstripe suit, but I think it's a very good looking suit. So I do like this, but I just prefer, you know, the white lab coat look. Very nice blue mixed in with black, and all the pinstripes are sculpted in there. Nice looking tie. He's got his little hanky right there. Fairly soft material. And the hands look alright, not looking too shabby. There is kind of this greenish hue here that kind of throws me off some though with the hands. But looking at the rest of it, looks fairly solid. Nice looking shoes, you know, wish they were glossier, but still not bad. He does have peg holes at the bottom of his feet right over there, and then there's the back, strange butt, and then strange back. And as far as his articulation goes, you can move the head up just a little bit, and it does move down some. You also get side-to-side movement over here, and you do get head pivot. Shoulders move outward that much, they move down. You could rotate 360. He does bend at the elbow, that's pretty good, I like that. And he rotates at the elbow, and the wrist moves side to side, and it hinges up and down. Same thing with this side, I get the up and down hinge. Again, that coloring is just a little bit strange in there. I keep saying strange. Anyway, you get a diaphragm swivel right here. You get a little bit of diaphragm pivot, and it crunches forward just a little bit and back some. And then he does have the hip joints with the DCUC gaping crotch pits right there, and he will kick forward that much, back, upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, and then he has rotation at the ankle, and the ankle moves down, up just a tad, and he does have beautiful ankle pivot. Now for the bases that come with Azrael and Mr. Freeze, they do combine together just like the backdrop base that we'd gotten way back in Wave 1 of Gotham. So what Diamond Select has done here is a repaint with the bases, and yeah, so you can see they're the same thing as far as sculpting and everything goes. And the bottom piece does come with Mr. Freeze, and the top portion over there does come with Azrael. And looking at this closely, like I said, I'm not 100% caught up, so I don't know if this is Jerome. Is this Jerome's doing right over here? But very nice looking brick. I do like the variation of color within the brick. The trash cans look great. I love that we get this little Wayne Enterprise logo right over here on the side of this cardboard box. Then you can see another ha 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 coming up at the top right over there. Nice detail right here on the fire escape, and then we get the ladder again. So yeah, and then you get these ports that you put this together right here, and that's out of place, but yeah, put that right back there. And then we don't get those little pins that we'd gotten last time, but it holds together just fine without them, so I'm not really too worried about it. Can't forget to look at the floor, high fiber, and we get that peg that sticks up right over there, and we get the little drain. And Mr. Freeze comes with his two different freeze guns. This is the first one that he used, and it looks pretty nice. It's mostly a solid black color, and then we get the little canister right over there on the very top. So not looking too shabby. Then here's his updated one right over here, with, you know, with the extra canisters right up there. And nice sculpted detail throughout. Not looking too shabby at all. Then you get these extra canisters right here, which I don't know if these are freeze bombs or not, but yeah, they look pretty cool. I like them. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm not caught up with the show, and the last I had seen Mr. Freeze was when he looked like this. So I was like, whoa, what's this new Mr. Freeze? It looks really cool, man. And then I did find images of this updated look, and I gotta say right off the bat that the figure has a little bit more of a saturated blue than what we're seeing on the actual show, where it's a much more metallic, lighter blue color. But anyway, looking at the head sculpt, I really like it a lot. I think it looks fantastic. Even though I do think it's a little bit out of scale, a little too large, I still like how this head sculpt came out. I really like the flesh tone, and we get these subtle wrinkles and little bits of pink right over here. And they actually have silver painted in the hair, which I think looks fantastic, and which is very appropriate for Mr. Freeze. So yeah, and I think the Fry's head sculpt looks pretty solid too. It does remind me of the actor from the film, so I'm pleased with that. Looking at this side right over here, looks very good. And here's looking at the top of it, right? We get this nice quilted pattern right there on the inside. Now, it would have been nice if they could have tried to replicate that light effect. I know that would be very tricky to do, but maybe having, you know, a couple of little light blue discs in the inside or something like that. But then looking at the rest right over here, you know, we get some nice details. I already mentioned the thing with the blue, but I'm a huge fan of the color blue, so it doesn't really bother me that much. I actually think it looks a little cooler like this. It's just a little show inaccurate, but I still like it. And then we get the quilted pattern all the way through. The hands look pretty good. Yeah, this is just my favorite color blue, so even though it's wrong, I still think it looks awesome. And it does have a bit of a metallic sheen to it as well, so it's not totally flat or matted anyway. And we get the belt right there, not looking too shabby, and frozen butt cheeks, and then we get some nice hip guards right there, and then the boots and everything look really good on the lower legs right there, so I'm very pleased with that. And he does have peg holes at the bottom of his feet. And I do like how the backpack looks. You could kind of lift this up a little bit. I haven't really tried messing with this too much. I don't want to rip it off, but yeah, you can see the canisters right over there, so that's pretty neat. And the articulation on Mr. Freeze is similar to that of Hugo Strange. You can move the head up just a little bit. He will look down enough to sniff the collar right over there. Anyway, you can move it side to side, you get some head pivot, and he has shoulders that move outward that much. They move down this far. You could rotate 360 degrees. We get a single jointed elbow that bends in that far. We get rotation, we get wrist rotation, hinges up and down. We get a nice diaphragm joint right over here, and it does have some pivot and moves forward a little bit and back more so. And we get the hip joints that move that far out, and he will kick forward and not back so much. Mid-thigh cut, double jointed knees bend in just that far. His ankles can turn side to side. They will move down, up some, and he does have ankle pivot. Then we have 3 different swords of sin. So here's the first one, which I like to have him hold more than any of the other 3. Very nice bright silver paint right here. The tip isn't really too pointy, so you can see it kind of just flattens out at the end, but I do like the bright silver, and we get some sculpted detail right there, and nice gray handle. And he does have a sheath on the back so that you can go ahead and insert, and even though the sheath is a little bent, you know, sword still stays straight afterwards, so not much to worry about. We also get this broken version right over there. So again, I'm not caught up, so please don't spoil it for me. And then we also get the case for the Sword of Sin, looking very nice, and you can put the 3rd piece inside there. So you just open this up and it fits in there perfectly. Yeah, so yeah, I like that. I think that's pretty cool. And you can see the size of it is actually just a little bit smaller than the other larger one, or the one that's not broken. So you can see there's just size difference right there. And you can see, comparing it to the larger one that I like having him hold the most, you can see it's still a little bit smaller. So yeah, I don't know if it's supposed to change size, but I guess they made the separate one that will fit into this case better. So we get 2 head sculpts for Azrael, and here's the unmasked head sculpt next to some images I found online, and it looks like they are missing that little scar that goes around his eye. Well, it's not a little scar, but there's supposed to be some scarring, and I'm not seeing that over here. But again, I'm not caught up with the show, so maybe this is pre-scarred Azrael right here. But I still think it looks pretty good, you know, it resembles the actor's likeness. We get some decent paint right over here. I actually like how the beard looks. Get some nice slicked back hair. Hey, maybe I could cosplay as Azrael, right? Maybe. I don't know. He looks a bit older than me, but still not too bad of a head sculpt. I like the flesh tone too. He does have a big bottom lip though. Anyway, pop this off right there. He also has the hood down feature, and then we can just take the masked head sculpt, which I think looks a bit cooler. I like that. And then yeah, he's got that faceplate right there. I love that gunmetal gray that we're seeing on the mask, and we get some red over it, and the hood looks really nice. Get some nice texture detail right here and some gray highlights, so I'm really digging that. Got some nice seams throughout on there and everything too. Then he has the shoulder armor right there. And then this guy popped off. This will pop off on you. You can see it's just held with this little ball peg right over here. So that goes in there, but yeah, I did notice that was a little flimsy right out the gate. And then looking at the straps, we get some nice gold paint apps over here on the buckles. Nice black and brown mixed in. Again, I like the light gray highlights on the darker gray portions of this figure. Looking very nice. I do dig it. Yeah, pretty sweet design for Azrael. I like this. Nice bits of red right there on the kneecaps, and some browns and everything. Straps going around the back, and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. A great looking cape right there with the red at the bottom, and then it goes up to black. Very cool. There's the sheath once again. And trying to move this out of the way, and I haven't tried removing the cape at all. It looks like it's attached to these straps that go around here. So I'm sure there's a way to figure out how to do that, but I have no desire to do so myself. But yeah, I think it looks pretty sweet, man. As far as articulation goes, with this head sculpt, you can't really get him looking up too much. He will look down, and you get side-to-side movement, and you do get head pivot. Then swapping out the heads, and slapping the hood right over there, and then putting this head sculpt on, you can see that he'll look up much more without the hood in the way. And then you can move his head down, you get side-to-side movement and head pivot over here as well. You get these dual ball joints, so there's a little ball joint right there, and then another ball joint that pegs in right here, so you can articulate these shoulder pads. But as I had mentioned earlier, they do fall off very easily, but you could rotate them around and everything. You get shoulders that move outward that much, they move down. You could rotate a full 360, but not without knocking off the shoulder pad. You get the single jointed elbow that bends in almost 90 degrees. You get rotation at the elbow, wrist moves side to side, they hinge up and down. We get a diaphragm joint right here that turns side to side. pivot and doesn't really move forward so much, but it crunches back some. And then you get the hip joints that move outward, and he will kick forward very high and not back, and he has a mid-thigh cut right there, double jointed knees. Then he rotates side to side at the ankle, and then he can move down at the ankle and up some, and he does have ankle pivot. Now, measuring out these 3 7-inch scale figures, you can see that Hugo Strange is standing just a little over 6.5 inches. However, Azrael and Mr. Freeze are both standing at 7 inches. Then here's our 3 new villains compared to some 3 older villains that we had from the Gotham Select series. We have Zaz, Edward Nygma, and the Penguin. And to not leave anyone out, here's the rest of the Gotham figures that DST has produced. We have Bullock, Barbara, Alfred, Bruce, and Selina. Then here's our 3 new Gotham figures next to the Marvel Legends Big Time No Letdown Spider-Man. I gotta give a big thanks to Bruce Vernon for that awesome little animation sequence that you'll see at the end of this video. And here's all 3 figures once again with their associated bases, looking pretty sweet. So I like this set. Like I said, this is the most colorful set I think that we've gotten for the Gotham Select series. I really like them a lot. I do need to catch up with the show to appreciate them even more, but so far, from what I'm seeing, I really do like them a lot. And I hope you guys liked this review a lot. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you think of the figures, let me know what you think of the review. If you have not subscribed yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more ShartimusPrime videos coming your way. And if you have not subscribed, make sure you hit that notification bell so you know immediately when the next ShartimusPrime video is posted. People have been telling me that they haven't been seeing my videos in their feeds, so hitting that notification bell ensures that my videos are popping up. If you want to help support this YouTube channel, your help would be much appreciated if you're in the position to do so. Link in the description below. And you can follow me on the Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can see a photo gallery of images over at toynewseye.com. I'll catch you guys later. Peace! I'm gonna play with my toys today. 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 Well, I don't care what the strangers say. I'm gonna play with my toys today.
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.